Outside of the main story mode of Black Diamond Bullets, there are two extra modes that contain some of the game's currency and other rewards, called Endless Mode and Arcade Mode. One mode of each exists for all 10+ worlds in the game. Out of the two, Endless Mode was actually the first one I made, despite me not knowing if I was even going to put it in or not a few years ago. Before Endless existed, there was something seriously missing from the game, that being Triple Mode. Triple Mode, the ability to combine 3 shot types instead of just 2, only existed in the deeply sequestered triple levels, which require you to get all the secret collectibles in an entire world just to unlock one. Plus, designing levels around shots that turn into shots is challenging but doable, but tailoring levels to fit with shots that turn into shots that turn into shots? There's really only one non-super specific thing in which such a triple mode excels: destruction. And that is where Endless Mode comes in. You design dozens of levels around just wanton destruction, and it gets boring after a bit. But Endless Mode can be so demanding, so formidable, that becoming a giant storm of murder is the only way you are going to survive. You have to understand what shot combinations to use, you have to understand how to deal the most damage with those shot combinations, you have to know which objectives to go for and which to avoid, and you gotta be a little lucky. But with enough skill, knowledge, and perseverance, you can make it to the last phase of each Endless Mode and claim massive rewards. This is where Triple Mode really gets to spread its wings, and where the really hardcore players will come to test their mastery of the game. You see, Endless Mode is not just waves of enemies that get progressively harder and harder. Instead, you'll also find hazards and game mechanics from the respective world of each Endless Mode, which will cover more and more of the screen as the wave count gets higher. And on top of this, notice earlier I said, last phase of each Endless Mode, as there's another twist to your common endless waves of enemies. Every 2 waves you'll be given an extra objective or rule to play by. If you succeed at this objective or avoid breaking the rule, you're rewarded with more health, more shot types to choose from, extra lives, and other power-ups. The more waves you complete, the further you'll change the phase of the Endless Mode, until pleasant challenges like beat the wave in under 30 seconds are replaced by hindrances such as falling knives or lower max HP. You can opt out of these extra hindrances, but of course then you won't get the power-ups at the end of the wave. As the waves continue, enemy formations become more formidable, traps cover more of the screen, and power-ups become more and more scarce. So really, if you want to survive until the later waves, you'll need all the power-ups you can get. And you'll need to decide what's more important, lives or cumulative damage bonuses. I'll say it again, but if you really want your skills with the game and knowledge of the shot types to be pushed to the max, this is where it happens. And I absolutely love that I was able to add this to the game. Honestly, I had a blast making Endless Mode, testing all the challenges, playing through them to see how far I could get. What I love is that it adds variety of challenge. It adds a bit more thinking, learning, and strategizing to a game that's largely just 130+ levels of just 2 to 5 minute, get to the end kinds of challenges. Not to say the story mode levels themselves don't offer a variety of different challenges. If Endless Mode is for the people who know the shot types and game mechanics like the back of their hand, what about a test of level knowledge instead? Well, that's where Arcade Mode comes in. Originally, my idea for this mode was to give players a set number of lives to make it through all the levels in a world, all in a row, with the opportunity to gain more lives along the way. Although I had a couple of big problems when I got to designing Arcade Mode. One, Endless Mode was so developed by that time that it sort of outshined Arcade Mode by a country mile. 2. The whole design philosophy of this game is for the levels to be self-contained challenges with quick and infinite restarts. To make each world a thing that you have to start over if you run out of lives, it's exactly what I didn't make the main story mode levels into, because I don't think that's fun. Some people do, though, and so I'd always planned to give them the opportunity to play the game in a more traditional mode, hence the name Arcade Mode. But now, levels are kinda long and worlds have up to 14 of them. When Endless was done and I moved on to Arcade, I thought to myself, am I really gonna put in-game rewards behind this without some kind of twist? Of course not. Arcade modes for each world are now a random selection of its levels, and are only ever 8 levels long. You get a secondary currency that only exists in Arcade, called Arcadites, for completing levels, finding secrets, or taking handicaps like knife rain or poison status into levels, and surviving to the end with them. With Arcadites, you can buy more lives, buy power-ups, and however many you have at the end are just turned into more regular currency. But the real twist, where the magic happens, is when you break 25 Arcadites. Between levels, you can redeem 25 Arcadites and end the arcade instantly. A skilled, lucky player getting the secrets, taking the most difficult handicaps, and nailing them first try could likely beat any arcade in 3 or maybe even 2 of the total 8 levels you'd normally have to play. And if you get to the end with 25 and don't redeem them, your score, and thus end reward, is doubled for having the skill to make 25 and yet still persevering to the end with them. At 50 or even 75, this ×2 multiplier becomes ×3, ×4, and so on. You can also play the levels in the arcade at a higher difficulty mode, which puts them at an even greater multiplier, and you can play the arcade itself with fewer lives and less forgiving starting conditions, putting your score at, you guessed it, an even greater multiplier. The post-game and optional secrets of Black Diamond Bullets may seem like they require a ton of grinding to unlock, with the total cost of unlocking everything requiring somewhere close to 10 million of the game's currency. However, Endless and Arcade modes both allow you to reach that total exponentially quicker if you can just manage to be really skilled. And as I balance the rewards of the game more and more, I'm trying to make it so that just doing everything once will add up to the total currency required to unlock everything. But what are those rewards you can unlock? What are these secret collectibles I speak of? And what is everything else you can do to earn currency and unlock them? That I will save for the next video.